Welcome to another edition of Make It Monday, where the motto is learn together, earn together. We're here to help you learn and expand your craft or your business and teach you everything that I possibly can. Anything that I know, I am sharing. Today I'll be showing you how to do the epoxy method for glittering a tumbler. And typically when you do this, you're only going to use one coat of glitter. So it saves on your glitter, it gives you great coverage, and it's the way I prefer now to glitter tumblers. So what you'll need is your epoxy, your glitter. I have some pre-cut wax paper down here to catch anything that falls. And then I also have a silicone makeup brush, and this I'll be using to wipe some of the excess epoxy off. Popsicle stick to stir my epoxy, and that's pretty much it, and gloves. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and measure out my epoxy. You honestly, when you are doing this, you need very little epoxy. Less than 5 mLs total for a 30 ounce. You really do not need that much at all. I usually end up measuring 5 mLs of each part just because I can never get it on the 2.5 on my measuring cups. So I usually end up with more than I need, but that's okay. Just do it at a time where you have more than one to glitter, or you can do molds, do all kinds of stuff. So don't worry about wasting, because you're not going to waste. There's so much you could do. We'll mix this up. Now, because I'm doing this on a white cup, I am going to add a little bit of blue transparent dye. I will show you that in just one moment. What that does is, I use art resin from Backfist Customs, and art resin is one of the best for not yellowing. However, rather than take a chance, I go ahead and put just a little bit of blue, transparent blue dye in mine, and what that does is it doesn't prevent the yellowing, but it'll hide it if it happens. So I do put just a tiny drop of that, especially when I'm doing anything white, because obviously on white you're gonna see it. So this is what I use. It's just a transparent casting craft, transparent resin dye. It's the blue, and you literally need, you really don't even need the size of drop that comes out of the bottle, but it's not gonna hurt anything. But I don't even need that much. Mix that well. The more epoxy you mix, the less blue tint you're gonna see, but you won't see this once it cures. You won't see the blue tint at all. Make sure you scrape the sides of your cups so that you're getting all that epoxy off the bottom and mixed up. And I'm gonna let this just sit while I glove up. Again, I love this method for epoxying. For glittering, because it just uses so little epoxy, so little glitter. It's just a win-win. Now, when you do this, you need to remember this is your adhesive at this point. You are not coating your tumbler as a finished product right now, and so you don't want a thick coat. Very thin, and I mean very thin. This is adhesive. If you do it too thick, you are going to end up with your glitter running. I'm doing this on the turner for you guys just because I need both hands. But when I do this any other time, I do it on my hand turner. And then I don't turn these to cure while the epoxy is curing. You shouldn't have to. If you have a thin enough coat on here, it's not going to move, it's not going to shift. So you can usually just let it sit. Come back to it in 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever your cure time is on your epoxy. And flood coat it, which I will do a tutorial for that as well, for flood coating. You see, I'm just making sure it's all over, all the way up to my tape lines. I do tape my cups, a lot of people don't. It's a personal preference. Once you're confident you've got it all the way around, all the way up and down to the seams of your tape, then you'll come back with the silicone makeup brush, and we're going to wipe off any excess that got on there. And the reason we do that again is because we don't want it to move. So you literally take the flat-sided silicone brush and run it down your tumbler. Get rid of any lines, get rid of any excess. You don't want epoxy pooling when you do this. If you have too much epoxy on your tumbler when you glitter it, 1, your glitter is going to shift, but 2, the epoxy is going to soak up the glitter and you're going to have spots that look almost like the glitter is flat and dull. You don't want that, obviously. You want the shine and sparkle. So make sure that you've got a very thin coat. You don't have to have this makeup brush. If you don't have it, just use your finger, but make sure that you've got a super thin coat all the way across the tumbler. And I'm just wiping it on a paper towel. And make sure you get up by your tape, because obviously it likes to hang out up there on your tape lines. So make sure you smooth that out really well. And I think I'm pretty happy now. So I'm going to go over it one more time with my finger. Only because I like to feel it and make sure that I feel that sticky epoxy everywhere. Top to bottom. Because if you miss a spot now, you'll have to come back and touch up that spot. I don't like to do that. It's a waste of time. Rather try and just make sure I have it right the first time and keep it moving. So as you can see, it is a super thin coat. I'm running my finger across it. It's completely flat. There's not any excess on there, so we're ready to glitter. Now I'm going to move my first sheet of wax paper, just in case any epoxy dripped on it. And I'm going to start glittering. I'll be using Winter Frost. It's one of my favorite whites from Backfist Customs. And it's got a little bit of like a pink and purple shimmer to it, or pink and blue, I'm sorry, shimmer to it, and it's beautiful. And on this white base, it's gonna look stunning. And you literally sprinkle your glitter on your epoxy all the way. Make sure you've got good coverage. I use this white on everything. And any of the white that drips off underneath, we're gonna save that. That's why I like these pre-cut wax papers. They actually fold in half, and it makes it so easy for you to save your glitter. Nobody wants to waste glitter. can see how easy this is. I'm going to put this back in. Keep going. Again, making sure I have it top to bottom. Full coverage. You can also use the same method for applying chunky glitter. The only difference is when you're done with your chunky glitter, sprinkling it, go back over it with your finger and just tap it down. Make sure it's all laying flat. That's the only difference between applying fine glitter and chunky glitter using the epoxy method. Yeah, see, this takes such a little amount of glitter to do this. And one coat of glitter will give you the coverage you need, especially when you do that super thin coat. If you end up putting too much epoxy on your cup, you're gonna need way more glitter. Because like I said, it'll soak it up and you won't be able to you won't get that sparkle out of it. I'm just letting it go around again, making sure I hit up all my spots, make sure I didn't miss anything, and we're already done. That quick. We have glittered an entire tumbler, one coat, and you should not have to come back and recoat this. So there you go. The glitter method, the epoxy method for glittering a tumbler. If you match your base coat with your glitter color, you're gonna get 10 times better coverage on most things. 99% of the time I base coat in white or black. There are some exceptions where I do use the glitter color to base coat, but most of the time, especially if it's an opaque glitter, you should be fine with a white or black base coat, and that's it. So I hope this helps everyone. I hope to see you again really soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading all types of videos within the next few days. And until next time, happy crafting.